Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a month since I last posted and I apologise, but I haven't really had any video ideas. But one's come to me when I've come home from work. I have 2 jobs. So I've come home from one, then I've got to go to another 3. And another one came to me and I was just like, that would be a good idea. So the video that I'm going to be doing is like interview preparation / advice kind of thing, because obviously I've had 3 recently, so I thought, well, I might as well give you guys advice in case any of you are having an interview. So here we go, and I have wrote the bullet points, but I've wrote them all in the wrong order, so I've had to number them so I know which way I'm saying them. Otherwise, it's all just going to sound muddled up because they're just not in the correct order. So here we go. Number 1. Find questions on the internet that relate to the job interview you're going for. So, say you were going for like nursery nurse or nursery practitioner or whatever, you'd be like, questions you'd get asked in a nursery practitioner interview, or like link it to anything like a hairdressing interview, or just whatever it is you're going for. Just search for questions for that job and write down the ones that you think you're gonna get asked. If you don't, if you don't get questions that do ask, use your knowledge, because you'll have all of the information there. Like, if you qualified, you will know it. But obviously when you're in an interview, you kind of just like, you panic. But just don't, because like, you know what you're saying. It's just, you're under a bit of pressure, so you think, well, I don't know this, but you do. Number 2, write the questions down alongside your answers to the questions, and you can practice these for a few minutes, hours, like every day until the day. This is what I did for each of mine. I wrote down my questions and then the answers underneath, and did this for all the questions that I thought I was going to get asked. I even remembered some like from the past 2 interviews before the one I had that I got. I remembered questions from those and wrote them down and wrote my answers underneath. That way I know I'm possibly going to get asked that at the next one, except the last one I only got asked 6 questions, but it's anywhere from like 5 to 10 questions or something, I think, or 8 to 10, I don't know, but I got asked 6 in the last one. 3, go over your questions and answers with someone you know really well, and get them to be the interviewer and you be the interviewee. This way, I know it's not going to be the real thing, but this way you're going to get a bit of an insight to what it'd be like when you're with the actual interviewer and the person's going to be asking you those questions. Just do not, when you're with this person, do not laugh or anything, because then it's just going to put you off. So just act as if you don't know that person and answer the questions to the best of your knowledge. Whether you write those questions down and give them the sheet with your answers on, or whether you just write the questions down and give them to them, either way it works. But just don't get put off and act as if you don't know them, because then that way you're not going to feel embarrassed to be sat doing it with them when they're not your actual interviewer. Just put that back to the back of your mind and just go through it as if it's the actual thing. 4, research the place you're applying for so you can see how they work. This is one mistake I made, was I never researched the places I was going for interviews at, so I didn't know their ethos or how they worked or whatever. But that's one thing you should always do when you go for an interview, is look up how they work and their rules and stuff like that, so then you know the kind of things that they'd expect and the type of different things they do. That way, when they ask, have you looked up how we work, you can be like, yeah, I have. Because if they ask that and you say, well, no, they'll think, well, they're not that interested then. So always, always, always make sure you research the place that you are going to be going for an interview at, because obviously then they get the impression that you are really, really interested. 5, know what you're saying for each different question. Now, you need to be precise on what you're saying, because I know when I went for my first 2 interviews, I was going a lot, and that just gives them the impression that you don't know what you're talking about, and they just think, well, why have they applied if they don't know what they're talking about? So make sure when you do get asked the questions, you know exactly what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, That way, they think, oh, they know what they're talking about. And it just, it's all good if you know what you're saying and when you're going to say it, because if you don't, it's not going to work in your favour. Number 6, think about how you'll present yourself on the day. Plan it out. What I mean by this is, think about how you're going to dress, how you're going to have your hair, whatever. I was going to say if you're a boy, but you can still style your hair anyway. But yeah, think about how you're going to dress, how you're going to do your hair, whatever else. Like, when I have my interviews, I planned it out. So I was like, right, I'm going to wear natural makeup, a nice, like, smart cash shirt with black trousers and black shoes, and my hair tied back, like it is now. And that's how I did it for every single, like, interview that I had. I wore the same, like, shirt and the same trousers and black shoes, and, like, straightened my hair and stuff. And I made that, and I did that so that they get the impression, like, you get a good first impression from you because you've presented yourself well. That's always very important as well when you go for interviews, that you present yourself well, so that you get a good first impression of each other. 7, prepare yourself on the morning, have some breakfast, go over your questions again. That goes for the same as if it's on an afternoon as well, because most of my interviews are on an afternoon anyway, so just prepare yourself. If you need to, get up early, have breakfast, then you can have your dinner, and then do whatever you need to do before you go. So just make sure that you know your questions, and you're not going to, like, just go blank in the middle of it, because that's never very good. So yeah, just make sure you do know your questions before you go, even if you need to, like, go over them on the way there. That's what I did as well. I was going over the questions and the answers in my head, because, that really helps. 8, shake their hands when you arrive. So when you go in, it might not be them who answers the door to you or whatever, but when you go in for the interview, give them a shake, and, like, give them a shake. No, shake the hands. That way, I don't know why you do this, but this is what you should always do when you go for an interview, is shake the hands. I never did that with the first 2, the third one I did, so. 9, don't appear nervous, as they'll know. If you're nervous, they're going to know you're nervous, because you'll be like, and you'll be sat there like that, and you'll be going, and you'll just be stuttering all the time, and that's when they'll know you're nervous, and they'll think, well, they haven't prepared themselves well. So just don't act or appear nervous, and honestly, you'll be fine. That was where I went wrong with my first 2. I kept going, well. So just don't do that, don't stutter, just do your best, just let it flow as if you're talking to someone you know really well. That's kind of how I did it on my third one. We would just talk backwards and forwards as if we knew each other anyway. Number 10, be confident in yourself. This is important, because if you appear confident, they're going to be like, that's the type of person I want to work for me. If they can be like this all the time, then they're going to be great to work here for me. And, like, if they see that you're confident, that's going to make them want to hire you more. So you should always, like, when you go in for an interview, be confident and show them that you're confident in what you're doing, because then it makes them think, oh yeah, I want to hire them. They'll be great at my company. They'll be great at doing this job. So always be confident, and that's how they know that you're the person they want. And the last tip I can give is, ask them some questions when they ask them anything you want to ask, because this shows you're interested. So if they ever say, right, is there anything you want to ask? They normally ask this at the end of the interview. Ask anywhere from 3 to 5 questions. That way, they're not having all the pressure to ask the questions to you. Right, sorry about that camera cut out, but yeah, as I was saying, just ask them the questions, then they're not doing all the work, and it's going to make them know, like, it's going to let them know that you are interested in that position and that job, because you're asking the questions as well. So, like, the kind of the things I asked was like, do you offer any more training? Would it be in-house training, or would I have to go out of, like, the building? When will I hear you back, and what's the next step? And it's just kind of asking questions like that, and then you know yourself. So, like, if you don't ask them, oh, when will I hear you back, then you're going to be waiting anxiously, being like, well, when am I going to hear back? When am I going to hear back? Whereas if you ask when you're going to hear back, you can prepare yourself for that day. Like the last one, they said it would either be Friday or Monday at the latest. Like that's what they said to me. So obviously I was like, right. And I didn't get an email off her, so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to hear back Monday then. That Monday happened to be my birthday as well, so it was good news for me on my birthday. But yeah, just always ask questions at the end when they ask, because it may give you a bit of a head start. So yeah, and they will also, this isn't, I haven't got this down here, but always, if you can, have all your certificates, your relevant certificates, like your GCSEs, your qualifications, like any first aid, food hygiene, whatever else. If you have any of that, put all of that together and have it ready to take with you to the interview. I didn't have that down, but I just remembered that. Make sure you have all the relevant certificates with you to take, because they will ask for those certificates, and they will be looking for the relevant ones. Like they'll be looking for all your GCSE ones and whatever else that they've asked for when you've applied for it. So just make sure that you do have all those certificates that can be shown to them when they ask. So yeah. Anyway, that's all the facts I have, or the tips I have for you. I hope this helps someone. If not, then I clearly mustn't have explained or gone into enough detail. But I'm hoping it does help someone, because you know these are the kind of things that help me to get where I am. See, I'm doing it now because I don't want to sound like you shouldn't do that in an interview. Just no. But yeah.